Welcome back. So today I am going to be reviewing this. This is the Hogue Deka in MagnaCut steel. Now, you may notice that this thing has some discoloration around the blade. This is the result of me screwing up and making a very poor decision to put fire, and when I say fire I mean like blue, like a blowtorch blue flame to this. So basically story goes, I had a pocket knife, a relatively cheapo one back in the day, nothing like this. um, that it was a pocket knife. I figured, hey, it's a knife, I shouldn't really care about anything that I do with this thing. So there was a litter box and there was like a little bit of poop or something stuck on it, so I kind of like just use the back of the blade to sort of just nudge it and dislodge it. And my wife saw it. She's like, ew, what are you doing? I was like, what? Nothing. So ever since then, every single one of my knives has been a poop knife. And now, obviously, I do not use any knives since then on anything like that. I'll use it on boxes and things like that. But I do sometimes use these on food, like cutting an orange or just something else. So these have to be food safe and food clean. I really wanted to make sure that this thing was clean after digging into cutting some hair and stuff like that, to clear out the bristles on a vacuum. And afterward, I was like, you know what? I want this thing to really be clean. Honestly, soap and water probably would have been fine. But anyway, I took some flame to this thing just to sterilize it. And I didn't want to quench it. And it didn't change color or anything like that. But, still, bad idea. Don't do that to your blades, especially not a Magna Cup blade, something like that. Just soap and water is fine. What I wanted to do was, I don't have a lot of money, and my wife told me like, hey, why don't you just review some of the knives that you have that you haven't reviewed yet? So I was like, yeah, hey, good idea. And this is what I wanted to do. So this here is the Hogue Deka. The reason why I picked it up is um, I had heard about MagnaCut steel, how it's a fantastic blade steel, and I really wanted to get a nice knife that had the toughness, edge retention, and just overall quality of blade that MagnaCut offers. And I looked around for what the cheapest one was. Now, this is not the cheapest one that I could find. The cheapest one that I could find of any kind of like decent length was actually a Boker. After speaking with my poop brother, over at the Pocket Bulge, he had basically recommended, it's like, hey, that one, it's not that great. You probably shouldn't pick that one up. Just keep looking. So I ended up picking this one up. This one I think set me back about 100, I want to say 140 or so. So not a budget knife, but nothing too exotic or super expensive. Um, and for a very, very, very long time, this was my go-to carry. I love it because it's light. It has the crossbar lock. Oh, that's another thing. I definitely wanted a crossbar lock because I did not have any knives with this, and I heard good things about Hogue's crossbar performance. So I picked this one up because the Benchmade Bug Out was outside of my price range. I think that one starts at around like 140 or so, like similar to this. Um, I think it might have been actually a little bit more, and this might have been a little bit less. I can't remember the details. But the point is, this was a knife that I got to be an EDC because it checked off a lot of boxes. It has a pretty good length. I believe this is about 3¼ inches long. So that's the length that I'm started becoming very, very keen on. 3 inches is about as small as I would go nowadays. I don't think I would really like anything smaller than that. It's very, very light. This thing comes in at, get out our handy dandy scale here. All right, at 2.1 ounces. This is not going to weigh you down. So it's light. The blade steel is fantastic, and honestly, for the price that you're getting this thing, it really is not a bad deal at all. The Benchmades of comparable price and size and styling and everything like that, that comes in at, I think the mini bug out is what I was looking at. That one comes with S30V, I believe, and it is a smaller blade. It's like about a 2.88. So you're not getting as much blade steel. You're getting a very good blade steel. S30V is fantastic stuff. But this Magna Cut, I want to see what this was all about. Um, I have not been disappointed with this thing really at all. It is fantastic. Even the scales on this, even though they're plastic and cheapo, you know, yeah, it squeezes in like that. But you know what? This is not a hard use knife. This isn't something that I am necessarily is going to be my go to for outdoor camping and things like that. I think it could actually handle it. Magna Cut steel is supposed to be pretty tough stuff. I wouldn't really baton this or anything like that, like if I was splitting wood or branches, just because it's pretty thin up here. I would want something with a thicker edge, so I can really whack down on it without, you know, feeling too bad about what I might be doing to the blade. But I think that Magna Cut should be able to handle that. The crossbar lock forms really, really well. I like how soft it is. It's on washers, so it's not buttery smooth, but at the same time, you can flick it pretty easily. Um, I just really enjoy this. I love the fact that it is relatively finger safe in that my fingers stay out of the blade path. It launches really, really nice. Snaps in really, really well, given that it's a plastic handle and stuff like that. So you're pretty much getting, I think, a premium design and performance for a an appropriate, I'll say at the very least, an appropriate price. This is pretty good quality stuff. If you really wanted to, you could upgrade the scales, things like that. I don't want to do that mostly because I'm cheap. I don't want to spend the extra money on a knife that of this cost. But really, it meets all my requirements. I can't think of really much that's lacking. When I first got it, yeah, I thought the handles felt kind of cheapo, but I thought about it. How am I going to use this on a regular basis? What is this really meant to do? It's meant to be light, reliable, and yeah, the blade steel. Magna Cut. You got a deep carry pocket clip here. It is fantastic. Comes in and out of the pocket super nicely. Very, very springy, so it's really easy to adjust if you wanted to. I've just been very, very happy with this thing. So, not to beat a dead horse, let us get into it. All right. So, materials. Given that we have the Magna Cut here and the plastic over here, I can't give this a 6. What I will give this is I'll give it a 5. And that is almost entirely because of this Magna Cut blade steel. It really has performed very, very reliably. I don't sharpen blades, not really, maybe some of my cheapo ones, but something like this, it just really performs very, very well. So I've been very happy with it. The plastic, I'm not going to really hold it against it just because it is doing exactly what it needs to do. And it does it pretty well. Ergonomics, um, I'll give that 4, 5, 4, 5. I'm waffling a bit. Well, yeah, I'll give it a 5. It's not a knife that's really meant to be bored down on. It, given what it's supposed to do, be a light, reliable knife that will last you and be able to be very, very capable. I think that it is deserving of a 5. Craftsmanship, I'll give it a 4. It's not poor craftsmanship, but it's not winning awards or anything like that. It has, so older versions of the Deka, it had like some screws like here in the middle. This is the updated design where it just has the screws on the outside. And while that is an improvement, it would have been really, really cool if maybe it just had fewer screws to be able to hold it together. I think they did this to just make it a bit more of a robust knife to be able to handle a bit more, force when holding it, bearing down on it, things like that. So, it's not a, I wouldn't say that it's fantastic, revolutionary, or anything like that, but it is not bad. So I'll give it a 4. Design. Again, I'll give that a 4, just because it's not, you know, cutting edge or anything like that. I think that the jimping here is very, very functional. I think that this little indentation here does create a bit of a force point to, really just change the direction in which you can really apply the force to, this curved portion of the blade, so you can really, bear down if you need to. um, I think that it's very, very good. Again, this is a very safe design in terms of just a knife. This isn't anything that's necessarily meant to capture your attention because of its design. It's really just, I think, in the quality of the overall knife. Um, so I'll give that design. In fact, you know what? I think I might even give craftsmanship, I'll bump it up to 5. Because now that I think about it, it does a really good job of what it's supposed to do. So I'm going to upgrade that. Yeah, I can do whatever the hell I want. This is my scale. You agree with it or not? Whatever. Versatility. I will give this a 4 as well. And really the versatility primarily comes from, again, from the blade steel, not necessarily because of the handle materials. If it was maybe G10 or something like that, then yeah, this might go up to a 5. But this is still a budget material. It's meant to meet a criteria and not necessarily exceed. If you want to do that, get a titanium version, get aftermarket scales, things like that. But out of the box, as this is, I will give its versatility a 5. Carryability. If I give this any less than a 6, then I'm stupid. This thing is super, super, super light, easy to carry. Goes in and out of the pocket. I could wear this in sweatpants, shorts, um, jeans, dress pants, anything goes. The deep carry pocket, the deep carry clip on it just makes it super, capable of just slipping into any pocket imaginable. Value. I'm actually going to give this one a 5. It's pricey, relatively pricey for, maybe for some people who are not used to spending proper money on a knife. But what you're getting from this thing, I think it is actually quite good. The other knife that I was considering, the Boker, I believe. I forget. I think it's called Little Friend. The Boker, yeah, I think Boker Little Friend, something like that. It's a big beefy blade and looks, really heavy duty. But I think that the fact that this has the crossbar lock, and the action is so smooth on it, I think that it really is a quite a good value for what you're getting. It's one of the relatively lowest entry prices for a magnet cut blade that you can find out there, at least that I think is usable to any capacity. So there you go. Relatively short, quick review of the Hogue Deka. I hope you find this useful. Let me know what you think. I'm open to discussion. And yeah, I'll see you next time with maybe not something super brand new. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get a new knife again because, broke. This is not a channel that makes a lot of money. This is not a channel that has knives sent to me. If you have any requests of something that you'd like me to review, I will consider it. If it's not too much out of my price range, I will do that. If you want to send me any knives to review, I am happy to do that as well. I will take very good care of them. I promise, promise, promise. I will not use them on poop. In fact, I probably won't even use them at all. I'll probably just do a first impression of just handling it and things like that. Last thing I'd want to do is dull anyone's blade or screw them up. So yeah, there you go. Hogue Deka.